Welcome back for another edition of Tier 80 Retro Programming. Um, I am excited to present this game, or what I have of it so far anyway. I have one error that I'm contending with that I haven't been able to fix yet, but it's mostly playable right now. So I'm going to run this, and you're going to see that now the game can generate, well, this is screen one, and it can generate anywhere between 1 and 4 snakes, and then you have to strike the snakes, and you can kill them now. Um, so let's run this and see what happens. I just go through my sprite workshop, and I've been working like heck on this, and so it generated 2 snakes, and the more snakes that it generates, the slower it goes. They can't hurt me yet. I haven't gotten that far, but I can take them out. So I'm going to try to hit this guy here first. And they move sporadically around, so it's challenging. And if they do touch you, you'll lose health. So that's the next thing I'm going to work on, or one of the next things. So you want to stay away from them. It's really strategic. I just got one, and you hear that little jingle. So you hear the sword swing, and then when you hit it, you hear a sound, and then there's a jingle, meaning that you took the creature out. And these only require one hit. So that's it. And now I get this NF error, which I was just talking to you about. I'm going to have to figure out a way to address that. The code that I'm using is just, I've never dealt with an action game like this before, so this is really the first time I've ever attempted anything like this. So let me tell you, I've been bogged down. I was bogged down by this. It was almost like it was a programming breakthrough for me, but also I reached a point where I did not think I was going to be able to get any further because of the complexity of this. If I change one variable, I would have to go through the entire program and change uh, dimensions and things, and I'll get into that after because now this is something I haven't done before either. This Doing this type of game or program requires 3 dimensions, and so far I've only used 2 dimensions. But the Color Computer 2, Extended Color Basic, getting started with Extended Color Basic offers a 3rd dimension later on, down in towards the end of the book. And I'm glad that it does, because this would not be possible without a 3rd dimension. And I'll show you that after. So now we generated 4 snakes, and sometimes they overlap each other. And now is when it gets really slow. I mean, we're moving at it like a snail's pace here with my character anyway. There's a lot of calculations going on. So they're a little easier to hit because it slows down. But as you kill them off, they go faster, because there's less of them being drawn on the screen. But there's a ton of calculations going on here, so that slows it down a lot. But I've gotten to this point anyway. You can't hit them from the other direction yet, and I have to change that because I don't want to. You have to go around the front of them and hit them right in the eyeball. And like them walking over me like this right now, those would be major hits to my health. So you're gonna have to watch that. but it's tough to walk around the front of them. But right now the sword doesn't reach far enough in the other direction to allow me to hit that eyeball. So what I'm going to have to do is figure out a way to extend the sword so you can reach it from here. See, if you're here, you can't swing the sword. It's impossible, okay? You have to be at least here to swing the sword. If you get too close to the border, you can't swing it. You still get that sound, but no swing. And the same thing on the other border. If you go over to this other border, you can't swing the sword unless you have a buffer of at least one space. And I got another one. And now I'm getting a bad subscript here. I don't know what that's about. What's line 138? Yeah, that's getting, see, this stuff starts to get annoying after a while. I don't even know what this is about here. I'm not sure where 138 even is in the code. I think this is part of list 137 to 139. Yeah, that's the full. What this is there's two floating point variable lines. One is for the characters, and this is the full floating variable point. And as you can see, this is extremely complex. I don't know why it's giving me a bad subscript error. I have absolutely no idea. That wasn't happening before. I honestly, I can't figure it out right now. Usually bad subscripts are because you don't allow enough in a dimension. So let's look at the, I should not have a line 0 right now. I have to fix that. But let's list 0 to 5. Maybe 0 to 10. So it's actually 0, it was 0 to 5. I just want to list 0 to 5. This is where dimensions come in. And right now we have 3 dimensions for the enemy $, which is the drawing. And then I have another enemy dimension, which is just in 2 dimensions for the hits. I don't know why. I think it was 138. Why this is even coming into play here. I have enough allowed for X and Y. It might be, I don't know why, I don't know, and I hate going through code when I'm trying to make a video like this, so I want to try to avoid this, but I'm trying to, let's print fall, and it's 5, and I think that might be what's doing it. For some reason, I might have to increase this to 5, but dimension X doesn't increase to 5, but that might be a place to start. I might have to increase this to 5. Let's just, I don't know, I'm just taking a wild guess. There's so many things going on right now. And then I want to get back to the 3 dimensions for a second. Now, let's go all the way over here like I was trying to do before. You can swing anywhere on the screen. You can swing in any position. You just can't swing too close to the border because it doesn't allow for space. So if I get all the way up against here, you can't swing, obviously. You get a sound, I don't know why, but you're not going to swing the sword there. You can swing it here if you leave a space of 1. That's enough room. An enemy wouldn't be up against here anyway, but if you turn And we're going so slow, like if I hit the controller, you have to like hold it down. It's like dragging. But once you get used to it, it's not that bad. And you never know where these guys are going to go, if they're going to go forward or what. You take one, maybe, hopefully I don't get that error now. See, and I'm getting something I was afraid of before. And if I keep striking in this area where the enemy used to be, I'm getting a false hit. So that's another thing I have to fix. So wherever it died at, if you swing there again, you're going to get a false hit. And I think that's what's causing this NF error. I don't know. It has something to do with it because it's calling too many times for the next foe. 148, I'll list 148. It just calls for a next foe. So I might have fixed the other one, the bad subscript, but this other one I don't have time to address right now. In the false hit, I'm gonna work on tomorrow. These are like fine-tuning minutia stuff that's really aggravating, but if you don't address it, it's going to affect the rest of the code like a ripple effect. You know, if you change one thing in the code that's not supposed to be there, it's going to affect the rest of the entire rest of the game. And if I could just get a hit off of this one guy here. And so I still get that NF error, and I'm not really sure what that's about. But the third dimension, I'm going to list this out real quick. I already saved it because I just finished this. But the third dimension is just what it sounds like. It's a third dimension, and I'll show you why I'm using it. And then I'm going to end this video, and it'll take a minute to list out. So when I list this, it takes the same amount of time as it would have taken the printer to print the matrix or whatever kind of printer. I think it was matrix, whatever kind of printers they had back in this in the 80s, whatever. They were really slow, and this is exactly how long it would have took to print out this code. That's what this delay is. And the same thing when you use cassette save, there's a virtual delay. Depending on the size of your program, it will take up to minutes at a time. So I don't know why they did this, but they wanted to make it as real as possible. Even though this is virtual, you have to wait for it to actually print that length of code. And when you cassette save, you have to really wait the amount of time it would have taken for the cassette to record that amount of code. And it's kind of annoying because it could take a long time if you have a big program. It saves a lot faster than it prints, so I probably shouldn't have done that because I want to explain the third dimension here, and this might take minutes, so you could fast forward to the end if you want to look at the third dimension. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and wait for this to finish, and there's no way I can speed it up. And if this takes more than another minute, I'm just going to end the video, and I'll get into the dimension in the next video, the third dimension. So, let's see. Yeah, this is going to take a while. So let me end this video. Oh, okay. Last second. We're going to go back here. So what this is this is the enemy drawing string, and for the snake, okay, snake is the enemy 1, So if I had, my next enemy is going to be a slime. So the slime would be number 2. So that's what the first number is. It identifies what type of enemy it is. The second number, and I had to put 2 slots in here because all we have is a snake right now. But the first slot draws the enemy. The second slot erases the enemy with the eraser string that I taught you before, so we can have the enemy on and off. And then the final slot is we can generate up to 4 enemies on the screen at a time, and that's what this is. If we generate 2, whatever. If we generate 3, 4, anywhere between 1 and 4, and that's what the third dimension is. So we're looking at a snake on the screen, and we're looking, it generates them from the bottom up. So enemy 1, 1, 2 would be in this position right here, and it would track that enemy. And 137 to 139 is the BM portion of it. So when I draw it, it's just draw BM $2 plus enemy $, and we can put variables in here, and that's what I do. That's what this foe is. The foe is the last number here, and so each enemy 1 through 4 on the screen has its own variable BM marker, and this is how the game works. Just use your imagination. So, you know, we have an X and Y value, obviously, with the starting point for each drawing, and then from there it's subscripted with S, which is the type of enemy and the actual enemy on the screen, and that's it, really. So every enemy, on each enemy has its own marker, and in 2 ways here, and that's why I need all of these different dimensions. And here X and Y is the same thing. We have to have this covers not only the enemies but also the characters in all their different positions. I'm not really sure. I think I got the BS error here. It might have been because I have to increase this now. I don't know. But I did increase the number that we can have. But here it's just a general space reservation of space. Here is a specific number in that space. So I'm just going to cut it off here. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I was struggling with this. I couldn't get, if we print BM $, it's going to return an X and a Y variable, but I couldn't use it because it's a string and it doesn't identify as a number. So I had posed that question to Curtis and I didn't get a reply. Luckily, I was able to work around it, and I abandoned that pretty quickly and found a different way. And what I actually did was, I don't even know what that was for. It was for the P point. So if you look at line 204, P point requires an X and a Y. And guys, if you're in this level of coding, I want to warn you about something. If you're using a color computer 1 or 2, I don't know about the 3, but P point, you have to, if you're using, it doesn't know what color set you're using. So color set 1 comes first, 1 through 4, and then normally color set 2 would have its own 1 through 4 value, but you have to add that value to the last digit. So white is actually 5, then cayenne, magenta, and orange. So it's 5 through 8. You have to use the CLS codes and not the PCLS codes. So be very, very careful. I learned this just on intuition. And the other thing is, since P-Point needs an X and a Y, you can't ask it to look at BM $, as a valid X and Y coordinate, because P-Point will not recognize this. You have to convert this somehow. I don't know how. I haven't gotten an answer, but there's a way to convert this, I'm sure, to a number. But I just defaulted to a whole different system, and this works a lot better anyway. Because if I had tried this, I would have only gotten the last position of BM2, and I don't think it even would have worked. But I would still like to know, is there a way, or what is the way to change a string to a numerical value? I don't know. But so that's the end of this. I'm gonna go now. I hope you guys keep watching. And I have big ideas for this game, so it's just going to keep rolling like a snowball. Hopefully, if I can get these bugs worked out here, and maybe in a few months, well, a few weeks maybe, I should have other features like spell casting, and I have to lengthen the sword so I can hit the guy from the other side. There's a lot that goes into this. Um, I can only code so fast, and whatever. So it is what it is. I will see you guys in the future. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.